Chuck said no outtakes today. He's got a lot to do. He's like, come on, hurry up, let's do this.
Let's do this.
Literally, that's what we're trying to do early in the morning on this Tuesday, Valentine's Day. Welcome to the show, guys. It's good to see you. I told you and I told you guys, we're going to try to do a Tech Tuesday each and every Tuesday that we can. And I'm actually trying a little bit harder than you thought I would. And it's just because of all the great emails, the outpouring of questions.
Sure.
And I think today, not just the people emailing the questions will benefit from the answers. So thanks for joining us. Great conversations. And then we got some great looking cars for you to check out at the end of today's show. That is called the Beautiful Ride segment. Did you see my show on Sunday?
You know, I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, I know you've been a little busy, got some stuff going on, but yeah. But get a chance to watch that. Part 2's coming up this Sunday. When we went, yes, we got in a car. We drove to Houston to visit Steven at LMR, and what a talented guy. Oh my gosh, that's a Corvette. Many people already commented. If you missed that video, we put a link down there. We put one right up in there for you. But if you've ever thought about modding your car, listen to Steven. The passion he has for building a car. There's such justification for everything that he does.
Sure.
And he wants it done right. You got to feel good about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this Sunday we're actually going to talk more about the C8 Z06 and some of the stuff that he wants to do and he's planning to do and he's already done to the car. And just the car's already so good as it is. It's kind of hard to mess with it. His biggest dilemma right now with a lot of folks that are trying to tune the car, you can't get into that computer.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever going to happen, but
I don't know.
That was a good time. And coming up, I'm always trying to bring you guys different content that you won't find anywhere on YouTube when it comes to Corvette and the conversation, the lifestyle, and the ownership. And a guy come in yesterday. We're going to air this for you on Thursday right here on the channel. So that's another opportunity to remind you to subscribe and hit the bell notification because I told you, fast, hard, heavy, and fun, we've got content coming for you. So Thursday, guy ordered a car. It's actually here, but he says, hey, I'm coming in with my dad. And he thinks that I'm ordering the car. Can we do anything with that on the channel? I said, yeah. So we have a great conversation, which I think people will enjoy going through the order process, kind of, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and all that. Sure. And I looked at him, and then I looked at you guys in the camera, and I wink, and I'm like, you're going to be surprised how fast things can happen. And I pull the car around. They actually ordered already. Dad has no clue, and it's like, it's nice to visualize. He's like, he's like, wow, look at Michael. There's your color. Oh, and I go, yeah, look at his name's on the window. And he's like,
bought it, Dad.
He doesn't know what's going on. Great idea, man. That's a great idea. This is his car. Everything we just spec'd. What? It took a couple minutes for it to register that's what just happened. So I had the magic wand out, and we made some magic happen that day. It's a lot of fun. So Thursday on the channel, join us for that. Again, Sunday on Coffee with Conti. It will be part 2 of my visit to LMR in Houston. A lot of fun, man.
Shame we can't make them all happen that way because we'd like to.
Yeah, all right, don't worry. I already said some of the audience. Okay, don't you guys get any ideas? Like, wow, that was pretty cool. What about it? That's that.
If only it worked that way.
A lot of fun, some good conversations here today. Good questions, you guys. Again, thank you for sending those in. Email addresses on the screen. If you have a question for maybe a troubleshoot problem, which seems to be a lot of what we do, but don't forget, if you have, I don't care how easy it is, how tough it may be to you, if you want to know how to use something on your Corvette, C6, C7, C8, let me know also in the email. I'll be happy to do like a quick demo or whatever to show you how to use that. So thanks for joining us tonight. All right, Chucky, what do you got, buddy?
All right, this one comes from Steven. Says, hi again, Rick and Chuck. I've got the bug to do some autocross and road course events this year because of your videos with my 2018 Z06 with a Z07, approximately 19,000 miles. And yes, I look at the track insurance coverage. I don't know if you've covered this in the past. My question is, do I need to replace the .4 brake fluid with .5? I don't intend to beat the car. It's too nice for that. But I would want to push it to the envelope, to my limits. It's necessary to go with a higher temp brake fluid, and if so, I can leave it for everyday use after track time. Love the videos, energy, enthusiasm, and information. Okay, you cannot use .5 or silicone-based brake fluid in these vehicles.
Correct.
They will not work. I suggest going to a higher temp .4. I know .4, some of the guys bring it in, it goes as high as 600 degrees Fahrenheit, but don't switch over to a .5 or any silicone-based brake fluid.
Yeah, we'll save his last comment here in a second.
Yeah.
Also, if you want, it's an 8-page track prep guide. The track prep guide is really designed for the folks that are doing high-speed autocross. you're doing 100, 120, 140, that's where that stuff's going to apply to you. And they actually tell you in that. That's when I looked at the truck and I went, I said, man, they want you to replace that fluid after a track session. You said something about leaving it in there. So that's a big debate right there, depending on what you do. Again, I'm not going to be doing competition stuff in my car for the low-speed stuff and the autocross cone stuff in parking lots. Did you get up to about 60 miles an hour? I don't think you need any of that fluid, in my opinion. It's for the track is where you need the high-temp brake fluid and so forth. So read that track prep guide down below. It's very, very useful. It was eye-opening to me. How much of it I'm going to do, I don't know. He even rolled his eyes. You guys saw when he actually tried, after I smoked the brake fluid in my car, him trying to bleed all that and replace it. It's, especially in this car because of the electronics and the computer learn, it's a process, man. So you really have to evaluate how much you're going to do that and how much you're going to really be on track. But you want the car to be safe, absolutely. So,
and FYI, even though this was a C7 question, it goes for the C8s as well.
Oh, I apologize.
No
I'm
.5.
just,
No, that's fine. No .5, no silicone base.
Thank you.
And his last part was here, he had to include this cartoon for everybody to look at. And we'll put it up there for you. It says, hey, honey, did the guys at the club really like your all-electric Corvette SUV?
And he's got a wedgie.
Yeah.
So that lets you know how that program's going to go.
Not only a wedgie, but it's clear wrapped up over his head.
Right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the question. We're going to get, as we get into season here in this part of the country, we'll get a lot of that tracking stuff. And I want to encourage you guys, not necessarily like he said, to go out and beat the car, but really to get out and enjoy the finesse of the car. And I've said this before too. I want you to appreciate your car. And really, in my opinion, the only way you can really appreciate the Corvette is getting out there and driving it.
Absolutely.
Some way, somehow. But on the track, it's a whole different level. Make sure you take some training courses before you do that so you understand what you're doing and you feel more comfortable and you really, really start to just have your eyes open and appreciate what this Corvette is all about.
Absolutely.
Here's one that says, hi, Rick and Chuck. I came to work the other day not realizing my key fob was in my work bag. I walk up to the car, and like normal, the car recognizes the fob, allows me to press the trunk button in the back there, open up the car, open up the trunk. I throw my bag into the trunk, I close it, I walk around to the driver's door, try to open it with the button, not thinking that the key was no longer in my coat pocket. The door did not open, correct, because you're more than 3 feet away from the key fob in the back of the car. Once realizing the fob was in my bag, I go back to the trunk to retrieve it, but the trunk is now locked. I'm totally locked out of the car. Luckily, I had my cell phone and my app, your Chevy app, yes. And I was able to unlock the car with that. Is there a way to open the car without using this app? Or is this a design flaw from General Motors that they need to fix? And this comes from Dean. The question you didn't, or the thing you didn't tell me in this that I don't know that you have in this, Dean, is if you had the passive system on your key fob, where you set that in the information center and walk away from the car and it locks automatically. If that was the case and the key fob was in the trunk, and yes, it's still more than 3 feet away from the driver's door, what you can do is get your buddy and shake the back of the car, bounce it around a little bit, open up, get into the trunk, or possibly even to the door, because now you're bouncing the signal. Without that being the case, then no, there's not an easier way to get in that unless you have the emergency key. And now in the 23s, you don't have the emergency key in the back there, so you got to go over to the side. It's just, it's a process.
Well, yeah, it's in the new 23 when they done away with the key cylinder in the rear. There's a whole deal. You don't ever want to have to do that. Trust me.
We actually talked about this on a previous Tech Tuesday. I'll hop in the car here in a second and show you if in fact you want to set up a passive system to be automatic. And when you do that, there's an option. Make sure you click the one where you hear the horn beep. So when you walk away, you know that the key fob is on you and you know that the car is locked. Not having that, there's going to be a lot of questions and could be the situation which Dean was in.
The one thing people might question is why you're going to get your buddy and shake the car, because on the new C8s, the key fobs go to sleep. The car's no longer looking for it. So it has to see the fob move, some activity, to reawaken everything. So that's why you're bouncing it.
Okay guys, I'm sorry for the glare, but go to your home screen of your C8 and then go into the settings button. I'm going to show you how to set that passive system to be automatic. When you walk away, the horn will beep so you know the car's locked, and I guess in the situation that we're talking about today, if you had to shake the car, it'll pop the doors back open again. So once you're in the settings, go to the vehicle tab, okay? And then scroll down to remote lock, unlock, and start. Go into that tab and then scroll down just a little bit more, passive door lock.
You can see I've got mine set already. So when you tap that one, you have the option of turning it on, but I like it on with the horn chirp. So again, when you walk away, you know that the keys are on you, you hear the horn beep, you know the car's locked, and everything is good.
Hopefully that helps a little bit. Hopefully the hands-on demo there about setting that up and the passive system helps you guys. And thanks again for watching.
All right, this one comes from Bob. It says, I see a lot of people replacing their tires and wheels with larger sizes. My question is, does that alter the speedometer and odometer, or does the car adjust somehow? Love Tech Tuesday because it's so informative. Thank you. No, the car does not adjust to different size wheels and tires. It will affect the speedometer and odometer. About the only way you can do it is, I know there's some conversion charts out there you can look at to plug in your size and wheel and tire that may give you an alternate size wheel and tire that'll be the same outside circumference that won't affect it, but no, it's more than likely going to affect it.
Is there a way to reprogram any of that kind of stuff?
No.
We never really got into any of that. So.
Well, I just, put a Impala, older Impala on the road for my wife that had 16-inch tires on it.
Okay.
But I upgraded them to 17-inch with a lower profile tire to have the same diameter.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So the output is still the same as it reads up on the dash?
Output's still the same. But
Okay.
what I sacrificed was a sidewall. I got a lower profile tire to make up the difference of the inch size where I was going bigger to.
Yeah, so just be aware there's going to be some alterations in that speedometer.
Yes. Two more things. He asked if I could read this. It says, thank a teacher. We thank all of our teachers. And to thank a soldier. We thank all of our soldiers. Yes. Wouldn't be the same world without them. So. Yeah.
Good point. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Dennis writes in, defective C8 passenger carpet. So I paused because it's not like he hasn't seen this before. Hello, Rick and Chuck. I watch the show every week. One of the best ones on YouTube. Received a 23 HTC back in October after 18 months. Everybody loves to tell the saga of how long it takes to get their car. Congratulations, you got it. Passenger carpet is bulging out up underneath the center console. Dealer has no fix. Customer service with General Motors agrees with the dealer. There's no fix. I've seen other C8s with perfect carpets. Have you seen this problem? Pictures are attached, and it's kind of hard to see the pictures. I know what he's talking about, some of the wavy or bubbly, and usually what I've seen in the couple that you've actually replaced, that whole piece underneath there is actually on the passenger floorboard right after the footwell as it starts to curve up underneath. It's like crimp right there, and it's sticking out, and you try to push it underneath the plastic trim piece, and it doesn't go. The new carpeting seemed to have remedied the problem, but I'm not sure why they didn't at least offer the dealer to order you another piece, because that would be covered under warranty. He's done several.
Yeah. I mean, they might do it. We submitted to GM with photographs as possibly a one-time customer satisfaction repair.
Okay.
And then it's up to General Motors whether they want to do it or not. But I've done a couple, so
okay.
Yeah, we have had some that have fixed.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
All right, this one comes from Scott. It says, roughly a year ago, you uploaded a video entitled First C8 Service, what's included and when to do it. In that video, besides the filter change, Chuck discussed after the filter is changed, the transmission is cycled through each gear to push the fluids back in the clutch packs. Fast forward to today. I'm a member of the Corvette forum. Big topic of discussion is what's included in the first service. I replied saying the first service includes the oil filter change using Mobile One, and AC Delco filter, and a transmission fluid change and top off if necessary. Unfortunately, many C8 owners have replied saying that that's not correct. GM requires and pays for a transmission flush, and are arguing owners who didn't get the free fluid flush to complain to their dealers to GM. Can you set the record straight? Does GM require and pay for a DTC transmission flush during the first service?
Boy, this is a huge topic. We continue to talk about this,
yes.
And you're right, it is confusing, and I think it's because people are using the wrong terminology, and you have your own perception of what these means. I'll let you continue.
Right. If you look up, and I have, when they first come out, when you do this DCT filter change.
You always say it DTC.
Yeah, I know.
And it's DCT.
Yes.
You want me to put a cue card up here? DCT. Okay, I'm sorry, continue.
When you do this, there is a hydraulic flush procedure that's done with the scan tool. It's not replacing any of your fluid. it's not flushing any of your fluid. You go in with the MDI and SPS,
This all
which
computer.
serves programming.
It's all computer.
It's all computer, and you do a hydraulic system flush, which is flushing all the fluid through the DTC filter before you change it. That's all it is.
How long does that take?
About 8 minutes.
Okay.
GM hasn't and never will pay for a transmission fluid flush because that's a maintenance item.
Right.
So,
and it's a great segue. We're trying to get it in so we can share that with you guys next Tuesday on Tech Tuesday. The actual transmission fluid flush on a C8, which we've not seen yet, which I'm up on and I need to have done, and I want to do that for the next owner of my current 2021. And there's different intervals, and we'll go over that in detail when we do that vlog. So again, to recap, your first service is within 2 years or 7,500 miles.
Correct.
Okay. Oil change, DCT filter, hydraulic flush, top off of your fluid. You're gonna lose a few ounces.
a hydraulic flush with the computer.
The computer.
No fluid.
Right.
And here's another little tidbit you need to keep in mind. If you go beyond that 7,500 miles,
yes,
now you have to replace the filter, do the flush, and then replace the filter again.
so you gotta buy 2 filters.
Yes, that's why it's critical to do this before the 7,500 miles.
Yeah, they're trying to catch any debris before it gets into the clutch packs. We talk about that. So if you go over, say, we were talking off camera, and you said, hey, if a guy goes 9,000 miles, you missed your 7,500 service interval, then you're going to need to get the 2 filters so that procedure, that electronic hydraulic flush, is done correctly. It's going to be useful to you, or else you're going to have debris that's in the transmission and it's all for naught.
Well, what GM's afraid of is once you go beyond that 7,500 mile interval, now if the filter's overclogged and you do the hydraulic flush with the computer, you're just pushing the stuff right past the filter because it's already full of debris. So
it's a wasted procedure.
It's a wasted procedure. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good, we've got to continue to talk about that. More C8s are hitting the road. They're starting to hit used as well. People are not sure on what they're supposed to do in their service interval. I had a guy the other day. It's like, hey, I got my 23 and I'm coming up on my 1,000-mile first service. No, it's not 1,000 miles. Up to 7,500 or 2 years, whatever comes first based on usage. And then that matrix changes if you do auto crossing and that kind of stuff. And don't do any of that high speed stuff until 1,500 miles on your brand new Corvette. And then Chuck even said off camera too, says, Rick, you know, your 21's been good to you. We've had a couple quirky things going on. We got a 23 situation you're working on right now. He goes, your car's had none of this.
No.
So I've been real thankful for that because I have, I got a good car, but I have maintained it, and you even said, and I think I have over-maintained it.
Sure.
And
that's the other point. If you're doing the high speed autocross and the high speed and the spirited driving, you're doing that frequently, you change the service procedure and the interval of which you're going to have this service done.
On Sunday, when I have part 2 going to Houston, I took a picture before we left of the oil life where I was and the transmission fluid and what it was when I came back. The oil life went kaboom.
Sure.
I mean, it was like 51% when I left Ohio, got back, I'm down into the 20s. Okay, I'm down to low 20s. And transmission fluid, if I remember correctly, was like 41%, and I'm down to, I think I lost 5 or 6% in the transmission fluid. So it's time to do that whole flush.
Sure.
That's quite a procedure. So again, that's going to be another conversation spinning off that very question. So,
well, like you said and like I said, I think a lot of this is miscommunication in the terminology.
You hear the word flush, and everybody thinks you're...
Well, and they even call it a hydraulic fluid flush, but you're not changing the fluid. You're using the computer to cycle all the fluid through the transmission past this DTC filter to catch as much debris as you can before you change it.
Yeah, it's almost like when you do the transmission relearn procedure.
Right.
That's all computer.
Right.
Yeah, we've talked about that. There's more. I mean, there's a lot of mechanical, don't get me wrong, because the thing operates and just handles so well, but there's much more computer stuff to this thing than you guys realize. So, yeah, pay attention to that for sure. Okay, one more from me here, and I'm not sure if you got any more.
One more.
From our customer, Mark, who's got a Rapid Blue card. Mark, good to hear from you. This should be an easy one here, but thank you for sending the question. Rick, I need to submit a Tech Tuesday question, and you did, and I got it. He goes, I'll email it and text it to you, too. I went for a cruise out on the coast the other day. It was 72 degrees, about 2 hours, and the car was just running fine. About 2 to 3 hours after I parked the car, it seems I noticed some water underneath the car. Not oil, not transmission fluid. Any ideas? My car's only got 3,300 miles.
What are you looking at me for?
Aren't you the star of Tech Tuesday? Aren't you the Tech Tuesday? I'm
Sure.
sorry. I'm in the wrong section. I apologize. Whatever. All right. Going on. Hey, is anybody available to answer this question?
Anybody.
Anybody? Okay. Nate! It's probably just condensation from the air conditioner.
Well, exactly. That's
You know?
what it is. 72-degree day.
Sure,
Humid.
a couple hours, sure. And
running the
sometimes,
air
too, you'll get
conditioner.
stuff coming out of the exhaust. You get a little condensation coming out of
Sure.
there. So, yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah, normal.
All right, what else you got there?
All right, it's a question for Chuck. I have a 2016 Z06 with competition seats. They only recline back a little bit. Is there a way to get them to recline a couple more inches? Thanks, Chuck. The back recline is what it is. The one thing you can do is tilt the rear of the seat back.
Yep.
To give you the feeling that it's more reclined. But yeah, the seat back's only going to go back as far as it's going to go back.
I wish I had a seat. So what Chuck's talking about, we did a video years ago. On the C7, you've got 3 buttons on the side of your seat. You've got this button that will adjust the back of the seat. The middle button is multifunctional. Pushing it up and down will raise that bottom of the seat. Pushing the front part of that seat will tilt the front part. Pushing what Chuck's talking about is you push the back part of that button, it'll tilt the back part of the seat, and it'll give you that feeling that you're sitting back a little bit further as you tilt the back part of the seat as far back as it possibly can. You may need to move the seat forward just a little bit and then tilt her down, and that'll help probably maximize what he's trying to accomplish here.
I would say so, yes.
All right. Good show today.
Yeah, it was.
Good conversations. I mean, stuff that you just want to throw something.
Yeah.
You know, I want to throw something too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, fantastic. All right, it's your stall. You got to clean it up.
Yeah,
I don't really
exactly.
throw all you want, brother. Before our beautiful ride segment, just want to say happy Valentine's Day to all the
Absolutely.
wives and the ladies out there. And I want to say happy Valentine's Day to my wife and my daughter. Ricky is a lucky guy. Yeah, lucky guy. And
Happy
sometimes.
Valentine's Day to my wife as
Yeah.
well.
All right, I was waiting for you to get in there. I'm sorry. I wasn't going to say it. It's like, okay,
You know.
here's a little softball. Come on, Ricky. Because she watches, it's like,
You better take some breath.
that Rick guy's nice. He said happy Valentine's Day to his wife and his daughter. What the hell is your problem, Chuck? All right, I'll sleep on the couch.
It'd be more like the doghouse.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But this segment here at the end of Tech Tuesdays is what we call your beautiful rides. And sometimes folks will tune in for the conversation and the questions and the answers, but sometimes you guys, it's a car channel. You just want to check out some great looking cars. So here you go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
If I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have said what I said. I took the long road, thought I'd be better on my own. Sometimes what's right is wrong instead. 'Cause I was too young, and I didn't understand that you were no one. And I can't wait to see you Hindsight is fleeting, oh, and your heart's bleeding, and all you can see is red. Till you discover it is within each other to forgive and make amends. If I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have said what I said. I took the long road, thought I'd be better on my own. Sometimes what's right is wrong instead. 'Cause I